Hey guys.
Hi.
You're listening to Not As We Planned. So get ready for
Honest,
raw,
unfiltered,
unhinged story
where we share our advice, opinions,
and talk about all the shit that people avoid discussing. We want to point out we are not qualified professionals, although I feel like I am one.
and what we say is the advice we would give to our besties. Hello, everybody.
Hello, that sounded like a
TV show.
like a news, like
Hello, everyone, and you are listening to
you are live. You are live on Not As We Planned. What have you not planned today?
everything.
This weather. Hi everyone, hope you're good. Remember, as always, if you're not yet on Patreon,
The chat is wild at the moment.
do you know what's do you know what is so nice? I actually wanted to touch on this because I think it's really special. We spoke a bit about we had an email.
We had a couple of emails.
We've had a couple of emails now about domestic violence, and one thing that really stood out to me is the support on our Patreon chat. A lot of people have obviously actually experienced through it.
I think it's a lot more common than we think, but it's not spoken about, is it?
And just seeing the support that strangers are like coming forward and giving advice and wanting to speak to that. I don't know, there's just something really special about it. So we do have some Patreon members that are probably silent followers, don't really chat much, but probably having that chat to read advice and opinions and everything, I just think it's a really nice support network. So
Powerful.
it's not just about listening to another episode, it is having that extra support.
It is. It's more of a community, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
definitely like, and as well, we have in our Patreon chat released the date of our event.
So
And they're already like arranging with other people in there who they don't know, like travel
buddy.
Like it's so cute, and that's what we want. Like it is a real community.
And if you are wanting to come to the event, there are going to be limited tickets, and Patreon will get priority. So if you want to go, might be your time to join Patreon. But anyway, should we have a little catch up? What week, babe?
I'm on a bit of a high. It's a positive week for Carly.
Okay, love
I've been away for a surprise pre-birthday weekend. My birthday weekend's this weekend coming, and it falls when I've got the kids. So I don't have the words. My boyfriend wanted to take me away on a surprise trip. He gave me two options. He said I could either go on a city break or like the most random destination. So I chose random destination because I feel like that's more exciting. And he took me to like the most random place in Spain, but the main day we were there, we went to this basically desert island, and it just didn't feel real. Like it was incredible. I don't know, I've just been really reflective. Like I know I've mentioned it before, but like 2 years ago on my birthday, I didn't get a birthday card, and now I've got someone who's literally put so much thought into something to make something special for me. And just like there were little things he did over the weekend where I was just like, I just feel really lucky. I feel really grateful. And it's like what we said in previous episodes, like, I don't know, I'm just at a point where I'm so glad I've been through everything I've been through, because it's got me to where I am now. And I'm just like in such a nice place in my relationship. I feel safe. I feel secure. And actually, I think what I've realised is I've never really like had that. I think you realise a lot when you come out of a relationship, and especially when I feel like I've been doing a lot of work to really just grow. And I've just realised like how toxic and what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I just didn't get anything from my marriage. I don't know what we brought to each other. We were so different. And I do think a lot of it has to do with getting into a relationship when I was a lot younger and I didn't know these things. But yeah, I'm just in a good headspace. Again, like other things have been going on this week, and I feel like before I might have let those affect my headspace, and I'm just so much better at holding boundaries and lowering expectations again to fit situations that are going on. I just feel like I'm doing pretty damn good at the moment. So
Here for it.
that's one thing I did want to talk about, because we spoke about it a few weeks ago. Like, do you remember we had that really awful week where like our kids were just awful?
We were hoping it was the moon.
We were praying. Well, I've kind of taken some accountability for recognizing patterns in my kids' behavior. And I think one of the things I find really hard is where our job and what we do, and both my jobs actually involve a lot of time for me on my phone, on my laptop, like, because it's all here. And I think that's really hard to, I don't know, be more strict with what's work and what's not. I think there's a really fine line. But I saw this reel and it's really like just made me stop and think. But it was basically a man saying how when you've got your phone and say you're with someone in the room and your phone, you're having dinner with them and your phone is there and you're checking it or whatever, you're not making the other people with you feel like they're the most important thing in the room. And if you're with your kids and you're doing that, even though you're not verbally saying it, you're sending a subliminal message to your children to say, you're not necessarily the most important thing. So I've really been making time to put my phone in another room and spend proper quality time with my kids. And what I've noticed is their behaviour's better. And I'm wondering whether sometimes when their negative behaviour comes from, they're actually trying to get the attention from me because I'm working, I'm busy, I'm cleaning or whatever it is. So yeah, I've just been, this week, I've really been making an effort. The phone goes in the other room. We, literally yesterday, we did puzzles for about 2 hours and I had a really nice time. And my kids' behaviour yesterday, I put them to bed and I was like, sometimes you get those evenings, you're like, I kind of don't want them to go to bed. I've just had I can't relate. Okay, well, maybe it's me, but I just had such a nice evening. I was just feeling, I don't know, I guess I think it's really easy as parents to be like, oh, they're just playing up, they're doing this. But I kind of I think particularly being a single parent, I really want to make sure I'm doing a good job. And sometimes I can be less patient and snap more. And I think where I'm taking the accountability in my romantic relationship, I kind of wanted to do that with the kids.
I do understand.
And feed into it. So it's just something I'm doing at the moment. And honestly, I've only been doing it for a few days where I've been strict with it, but the difference in my kids is wild. I don't think that's a coincidence. So it's something I'm going to keep doing. Yeah.
No, I get what you mean by that. I think that I have spoken briefly about the fact that I feel really triggered by Blake's behaviour. And I know afterwards, in hindsight, I was like, if I did that and if I did that, then maybe it would have squashed that a bit more. So I'm at that stage where I'm sort of reflecting on it and knowing what I should have done, but I can't quite put it in place yet because
it's hard.
I'm so...
But I'm noticing the things that would normally trigger me just aren't happening because they're preoccupied and we're doing something together. I feel like when they're more likely to fight or hit each other or do something, and I'm wondering, are they just doing that to get attention? Are they bored? Do they need more of me? So it is a constant juggle. Don't get me wrong. I've had to say to myself this week, Kylie, it doesn't matter if the house isn't spotless right now. This needs to be the priority this week. And it's really when you're a single parent and you're juggling all that stuff, something's got to give.
Yeah. You can't have the really tidy,
all your work done.
I actually saw a really interesting thing on TikTok, and it said the 3 things in that are sort of not important in life because children didn't come into it, but it was as an adult: career, physical health, and relationship.
Yeah.
And they said that you cannot put 100% into all 3. And at some point in your life, as in the wave of your life, one will always have to be less of a priority. If you're putting all your attention and your love and concentration into your career and your relationship, then you're probably not going to be at the gym as much, not going to be on your food as much. They were pretty much
just saying that. See where my marriage went wrong. I was down there.
They were just saying those 3 things, it is actually impossible to put all your effort and time into all 3, and it's going to fluctuate throughout life. Sometimes you might take a step back a bit and put in as much effort into the job because you need to concentrate more on your physical health and your relationship. I don't know, it's just quite interesting because I was like, it is true, right? We put so much pressure on ourselves. I know I do. I'm like, right, today I'm going to be really productive. Not only am I going to get all my work done, but I'm also going to go to the gym, get my 10,000 steps in, and I'm going to make sure I tidy the house, and I've got to do the school run, and then I've got to be present with the kids and do their homework. And it's like,
it's not really.
Whoa, slow down. Like, you have literally set yourself up to fail before the day is even started, because that is actually not all possible to do.
Well, when I was a teacher and we were doing things like training program projects, we used to have to set goals. And they're called smarter goals. And that is being specific with your goals, but also making them like realistic and achievable. And it's like, why has that gone out the window now we're adults? Like I've honed in on it for so many years about when you're setting goals, it should be this. And then I'm like literally, you're literally setting yourself up to fail. Yeah. You can't do all those things. So yeah, I'm being a bit kinder to myself and just being like, well, that will give today, that will be tomorrow's job, or, well, you know, whatever it is. And actually, I had a bit of an interesting chat with Theo this week about, he said something, goes, Mummy, you do it all on your own. Like, Daddy has someone to help him. And I was like, wow. I was like, that is true. And he was like, what about he goes, I have a brilliant idea. What about if I help you more? And I was like, that would be really like, and so like they do, like they clear up after themselves every single mealtime now. That's just the standard thing I've made in my house, but they've been really, really helpful this week. And look, it will fluctuate. I know that. Again, I've mentioned it before. This week we've had no TV on. None.
Really? Joe, it's interesting. I actually came up with people might disagree with this, and I haven't actually started it yet, but we were talking in the car, me, Blake and Ivy. I said to them, because they actually spoke about something to do with pocket money, because Ivy lost a tooth, and she was saying how, like, because I always like to try and explain to them about, like, do you know how Mummy has these things for you or that thing for you? And I really explained about having to work and I really want them to understand, like, they are very lucky. They get a lot of things gifted for my work, and I do sometimes explain to them, like, we're going to do work for this. They know exactly why we're doing it. It's for advertising, and then I do give it away. I don't keep all of it, and I don't want my kids to think that toys are just flooding in every week. So anyway, we were having this conversation about pocket money, and Blake said, how do children get money until they're old enough to work? And I was like, that's a really good question. I was like, how about we start doing chores or doing things, and I'll give you pocket money? And they were so excited by it. And then maybe wrongly, I was like, and do you know what, guys? If you start saying in your beds, I'm going to give you money. So I pretty much started driving my children to sleep. I'm like, I'm desperate.
I just had the bed there. This literally last night, because I've had, do you remember I said Theo was so good at staying in his bed all night? And then, like, I think it was when we had slightly longer apart, and then that night Theo really needed me, so I started coming in. And then I just fell back in the habit of letting him come in, and now it's been like a month and he's been in my bed every night, and I'm getting booted in the head and my sleep's gone down. So last night I said to him, I was like, look, darling, like, Mummy's broken. Mummy can't have any more nights with like this. We're going to try and do the bed. And I'll show you on my laptop. I made them little nude star charts, and I've set them specific things that I want them to work at. So Theo's is staying in his bed at night and also brushing his teeth without having like epic meltdowns. That's another story.
Do you know what though? Like, then I thought to myself, so Blake was like, oh, so if we make our beds, will you give us money? And I was like, well, no, because you already do that. And he's like, no, now give you. And then I thought, oh God, have I really set myself
I think
up?
you just need to come up with like a chart. Is this much for this much for this?
What I said. So he was like, so every time I do something, will you give me money? I was like, no, I'm going to set like 5 challenges for the week. And if you complete them all, then you're going to get a pound at the end of the week or something. Like, at one point he was like, so if I make my bed, will I get £5? I was like, hun, like, you need to be broke. Yeah. Like, I'm trying to like teach you value of money and maybe help around the house. We're not going to. I
like the motivation for it though.
I know. Like, I mean, I love it. Quite cute that he was like, also, like, how do kids make money?
Great idea.
Like business-minded Blake. But anyway, yeah, my week, I haven't really got anything to report. I'm actually going away for the weekend tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. Like, it's going to be like our first like little weekend away. We get to spend quite a bit of time together, but we don't as often as we like get days together, because his structure with his kids is quite a bit different to the norm. So yeah,
you've got to take it when you can.
Absolutely. So Friday to Sunday we're going to Norfolk, and I put like a little box on my Instagram stories last night, and I didn't realise my geography is so bad. I didn't realise how big Norfolk was. So I just thought I'll just say Norfolk and I'll get loads of places. And then literally like some of these places are like an hour and a half from where we're staying. So then I replied to all the people that said that they could help, told them the area. So it looks like we're going to have like lots to do, and the weather's dry. So that is all.
I'm going away this weekend too.
Where are you going away?
Kids. We're taking them away. We're going to the Belfry Hotel. It's like a family hotel, a couple of hours away. We were meant to go in half term. Oh, yeah, I haven't done this update, have I? Bloody hell. Oh, we had a great half term, hand, foot and mouth, Sunday to Sunday. We were stuck.
Did Theo avoid it?
He hasn't got it. He's the most immune kid ever. Like his best friends have had all the sickness and stuff. He's never got anything. I don't know. That kid's made of something else. But yeah,
Milo managed to like reschedule her and go. Well, another.
Yeah, Milo had hand, foot and mouth, and obviously it's highly contagious. It was really sad actually because we had plans for half term. I felt really bad on Theo that we couldn't do anything. Yeah. We had a couple of pajama days. We did get like quite a lot of time together, but I'm not going to lie, like I was losing my mind a little bit. But I had cabin fever. It was a lot. And now they're back to nursery. But yeah, we were meant to go away. We were actually going to go. Me and my boyfriend were going to take all our kids and go away for the night to this hotel, but we had disease. So yeah, I'm just going to take the kids this weekend. He can't come because he's actually on a work trip, but thought I'd suss it out and I'll let you guys know if it's meant to be a good family hotel. So we're going to do that. The kids are really excited. It's got an amazing swimming pool, loads on for the kids. So
cute.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
Love that. Should we crack on with some
email, guys? Do it. Can't believe I'm saying this.
What?
Does the fairy tale exist all the way from Australia?
Oh, wow.
Down under. Hi, Tash and Carly. Firstly, love the podcast. I wait each week for the episode to drop and love the extra episodes on Patreon, all the way from Australia. Did not know we were hitting there.
You're pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Your podcast has made me realise how I am not alone in what I went through with the breakdown of my marriage, and we are all in this together. The background is I found out my husband of 10 years, together for 15, had been having an affair for over 2 years when our youngest daughter was 8 months old. Yes, he was having an affair when we planned and conceived our youngest of 3 daughters. It was a normal Thursday when I discovered the laptop and found messages that led to discovering everything. Funnily enough, it wasn't anyone from work, but a random stranger he met on the train years earlier. He had been living a double life, leaving me at home with the children, working shift work and running the home to carry on an affair with her for years, planning and trying for a baby with her, even going to an infertility specialist with her as she had endometriosis and was struggling to fall pregnant. Okay.
No. What the fuck?
All this time, we were the perfect family. Nice house in a great suburb, 3 beautiful young daughters. I knew he wasn't happy, but he had seen doctors and gone to therapy for depression. So I put it all down to this and encouraged him to take more time for himself. All this did was give him more time to carry on the affair. I kicked him out that day and ended the marriage, moving through the separation process quickly, mediation, selling the house and working out a parenting agreement.
Good for you, Beth.
Wow, I need your help. This is still ongoing and dealing with a narcissist is draining. This was just over a year ago, and with the help of family, incredible friends, and your podcast, I'm actually doing amazing. I've healed a lot and had a glow up, feel amazing and strong. I know I'm so much better off without him. He's really shown his true colours, and I want to ensure anyone else out there that hears this, that's in those early stages, knows just keep going one day at a time. It does get better. I'm thriving and so are my children.
Oh, I just got goosebumps.
We love a bit of like positive vibes.
Yeah.
What I would love to ask about is dating. I've been dipping my toe back into the dating scene and it's wild. I've met a lovely man, not through the apps, who on paper is perfect. No red flags, ticks all the boxes. So considerate and thoughtful. It's been
waiting for a butt.
I know, me too. But it's been so lovely to be treated so well for the first time in forever. Lovely dates out, walks, good conversation. We can talk for hours and get along so well. I'm just not sure I have that feeling, you know, the butterflies, I want to rip your clothes off and see you every second of the day feeling. My best friend says I'm living in a fairy tale and I need to give it more time to grow. But after being with someone that treated me so poorly, I can't help but want more. I want the fairy tale. I'd love to know your thoughts. I've never been one to date just for the sake of it. I'm more than happy to be on my own and don't feel the need to have a partner. But I don't want to sabotage a great relationship just for the dream of having that sexual, emotional connection with someone like you see in the movies. I don't want to settle for someone, which I feel I did with my ex-husband. I'd rather stay single, but I'm so confused and if I'm just self-sabotaging. Love you girls and thank you for this podcast. It helps guide me and give me a good laugh. Love you guys from Australia.
Do you know what? It's interesting because I feel like, you know, when I spoke about when I first started dating him, 6X, I remember sort of saying like, it felt like I wasn't sure if it felt the way that it did because I was maybe more secure or maybe I had my guard up slightly, because I remember when I started dating my ex-boyfriend, I had that sudden like, I'm going to marry him. Like, I literally felt that I was like, I'm going to marry him. Like I had the butterflies. And then you see all these things where people say that like, that's not actually how it should feel.
I think butterflies and sexual chemistry are different though.
Yeah, I'm not talking about sexual chemistry. Okay. Sexual chemistry did not lack whatsoever with 6X.
Yeah.
For me, it was more maybe my headspace and very much going straight into, he's the one, I'm going to marry him. Yeah, like this is going to happen, like planning my whole future out in my head within like 2 seconds before I'd even met him. Whereas I felt like when I started dating 6X, I don't know if like subconsciously I was like, take it slow. Like, but I was like, am I being like this and feeling this way because I'm now in a secure place, or is he not the one for me? Like, should I be feeling more like that excitement of picturing my whole future with him? But for me now, in hindsight, I felt like it definitely was that I was just in a better headspace. I was doing better. I'd done more work. I was content without him. He was just going to be adding more to what was already good. Whereas when I met my ex-boyfriend, I felt like he was going to like save me and rescue me. So it's like a fine line between like her saying that she doesn't really feel like there's that like emotional, like, did she say chemistry or no?
No, it's like more like that. She says she doesn't have that like rip your clothes off, want to speak to you every second of the day. Like,
it's hard because some people don't ever have that and they're great.
I don't know if like I don't know if for me it's because where I was lacking so much in my marriage, whether I'd never had that chemistry, that physical, like, oh my God, like I want to rip your clothes off. I'd never had that with my ex, even at the start. And I did very much have that at the start of this relationship. I still do, like 18 months in, I've still got that. And I do think, obviously I'm looking at this from a biased point of view, like I love that about this. Like I really, really love that part. And I think at the start of my relationship, I was not in the headspace to be in a relationship. And I think I was kind of chasing those highs of feeling wanted and feeling needed. And I don't necessarily think that was the right thing. And that wasn't anything to do with the kind of person he was, or it wasn't, you know, some people do that to get attention. It can be quite toxic. It wasn't like that at all. It was more because it was like, I wanted to pull him close, but then I wasn't ready. So I wanted to push him away. And then, but I couldn't.
When people say like when you're not ready, or when you're like maybe you haven't done the work, you kind of crave that like dopamine hit of like, now he wants me. Oh, but now I want to cause a bit of drama. Like
mine wasn't even that. Mine came from a place of genuinely feeling scared of being like, oh, I've let someone in. Shit, like you've got to be the one in control of getting hurt. So push him away. But actually, that's not what I wanted. And I think it was like working out kind of, I don't know, a way of working together to resolve that.
Do you believe that her not having that maybe like emotional like connection at the beginning, I do think that is something that can grow.
I don't know because I've never experienced that.
I feel like chemistry is usually really easy to come by. It's more about compatibility that people mistake.
Do you know what? With your situation, I'm wondering whether, because you've had such a negative experience with your ex, whether you're just, I feel like you're worrying you're going to let a good person go who treats you right. Think of all the things he does. Actually, when you look at it, those are quite like minimum things, like to treat you right, to make you feel.
I was like,
yeah. And I actually feel like, yeah, they are amazing, but actually they're bare minimum. And I feel like actually there's probably a lot of good men out there who could offer you that. And I think the scary thing is, and if, you know, anyone listen to this, I do think that kind of chemistry and that want to like message someone all the time and want that, like, what does it?
I'm questioning.
What
like,
you think it can grow?
No, I'm wondering, like, for me personally, like, the minute I say bye to him in person or off the phone, like, we could talk 24/7. But I also know some of my friends or people that I'm close to, I know that they would find that really intense and it wouldn't be for them. That doesn't mean that person. No, but what I mean is like, it's that the personality.
I don't know.
I don't think that you not wanting to see him every waking moment means that he's not right for you. I don't want to go and give this advice that I think me and you are very affectionate, like very like,
touchy.
Yeah, like one of my friends hates physical touch. Like she would like to be in the presence of someone, but she was like, I don't need him like on me all the time. Whereas for me, like literally, like just let me sit back all that. But do you know what I mean? So I feel like I don't know if it's actually a bit of like a personality.
I do think the sexual chemistry thing's quite important.
It is, but I'm wondering whether that can grow. I've never been in a relationship where I didn't have it from the get-go, so I can't really give my opinion.
I don't know.
I think the best thing, I think they can. That's like saying like you can start off being friends with someone and then you end up like sleeping together and you're like, oh, hold on, this could be more than a friend. Of course, but it happens. It's not you meet someone, if you don't want to rip their clothes off, then you should.
No, but I think. I don't know. I think you should just. No, I'm not advising that. I'm just saying I don't think you should necessarily just close off the idea of meeting your person if you're just worried about losing someone who's doing things at a bare minimum.
I agree with that. I also don't think that you should rush to end it if you feel like
you need to end it.
Ticking a lot of boxes. Yeah, I think that like the thing is she hasn't said how long they've been dating. If it's like 6 months, and I'd be a bit like,
yeah,
it's time to like call it a day. But if it's been a month,
you're gonna know it's going somewhere.
Yeah, if it's been a month, then you're not. Yeah, you know, right, she didn't. So I think maybe go with it for now. Be open and mindful that like you want those things. She might not even want those things in a relationship. She might just be worried that she doesn't have them because other people. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think you should like end it, but again, it does depend how long you also don't want to be like 6 months down the line being like, oh, I'm not got that, like, because I think that is important. Like long term in a relationship, I genuinely believe that sexual connection and intimacy is real, but it's not even the chemistry, like that intimacy and want to, like, we've spoken about it before, sex shouldn't be a chore or something you feel like you have to do to keep the relationship going and growing. It should be something that comes naturally, and that's like a really positive thing because that's only going to make you feel closer. So I think like it depends on the amount of time. It needs to have some kind of trajectory that is going somewhere. But yeah, if it's the first like couple of months, yeah.
I think that's also like, you know, when sometimes people like go on that first date, and I've had friends be like, there wasn't really a spark, and I'm like, you don't need a spark. I wouldn't not date someone because there wasn't that instant spark. It could grow. I think certain things could grow, but it depends how long you're waiting, and if it's been like a really long time.
I think it's the time thing. Yeah, I agree. I think it is like, okay, I'm okay with it growing, but like how long am I waiting here, kind of thing.
What you have said though, you've hit the nail on the head in regards to not wanting to let it go because you're worried you're letting a good guy go. And I honestly think that is where I was with my ex. It was like, he's a good guy, like
but that's because your standards
started off really low.
And also like because you weren't getting bare minimums before, those seemed like, and I can relate.
Yeah.
And I think what I've had to determine over the last 18 months is, okay, these are bare minimums, but actually this is even better. Like, it's re-establishing where your standards lie.
No, I agree.
That's why.
But yeah, keep us updated. It would be interesting to know how long you've actually
yeah,
been dating.
yeah, I'd be interested to hear.
But really proud of you that the minute you found out everything that your husband did, you literally drew the line, chucked him out, got on with it, and you're in a good place and smashing it.
And thanks for listening all that way away. That
I know.
really
Spread the word in Australia. Can you imagine?
Worldwide tour.
That's your next event. We're going there.
I'm there. Going down under.
Right. This one. Are you ready?
No, I'm not, because you just looked at me funny.
He left me 2 days before Vegas because I'm fat. Hello. So I've had a bit of a blow to the heart all of a sudden and I can't get my head around it and would love to hear other people's opinions. So I booked Las Vegas for my fiance's 40th birthday, and 2 days before we went, he came home and just started screaming that we weren't working, just co-parenting, and that he wasn't attracted to me anymore, that I was fat and I should work on myself. Just, can you imagine? Like,
sorry, mate, put your fucking beer belly away. I bet you ain't ripped.
that, like, just coming home to your fiance.
But that's not what's going on, is it?
No, but like, that is just
Disgusting. And she's just planned a trip to take you to Vegas when you're 40 if you don't deserve her.
We have two small kids together. Youngest is 3. And okay, he may be right. I've put on a bit of weight since giving birth, but I have 0 time to work on myself as I work and I'm raising 3 kids while he works full time, goes to the gym and just enjoys his life. Like, do you know what? I'm not having that. I'm not having you put yourself down and be like, you know, he might be right. I've put on a bit of weight. Who fucking hasn't?
But
like,
you've had children. Like,
no, but do you know what? Like, you don't date someone and ask them to marry you because he is your fiance based on your body. Like, no. Like, that is just, there's just no fucking excuse for that shit. Vile. I've never asked for anything from him. I just enjoy him so much. I love my family and love the family life. It's just for me. He said horrible things to me, like he was pressured into proposing to me. Never wanted to in the first place. He left the night he came home fuming and hasn't been back. My friends are the best and booked tickets to Vegas the day before we left, so I got to enjoy his trip anyway. But I'm heartbroken. We didn't have any problems except for the fact that life is really hard as one of our kids has additional needs. I think I may have been overwhelmed all the time and wasn't the joyful wife he wanted me to be. He said I look good when we go to the pub and we always have a great connection when we're out, but when he gets home, it's not a nice place, which I understand, but I feel like that's normal with small kids in a stressful life. I feel like I'm in the wrong and should have been the happy, joyful, welcoming home kind of wife, but it was kind of impossible with the stress. I now feel like a fat, ugly mess that nobody will want, and I just don't know how to move forward from this. My family think that he is with another woman that would be the only explanation. I don't think he does. I think he just couldn't handle the family life, but I wish he had tried a bit harder. I don't know why he had to say such hurtful things to me as well. Anyway, I'm in a glass box of emotions and I don't know what to do. Any advice? You can talk on the podcast about it if you like. I don't really know much about podcasts, but would love if you let me know when it's on so I can listen to the advice.
It's just like it. Can I just say, anyone who says negative things about someone, whether that's physical or whatever it is, they're often deflecting something in terms of their own insecurities or making you feel bad because he's done something wrong. Like, I want to be really careful what I say because I don't want to make assumptions. However, based off a lot of information and lots of experiences and just hearing from a lot of different people who go through these things, not many men will just up and leave a family without there being something / someone else. He's got no reason to walk away from you and your family just because you're bad. People don't leave for that reason. And I'm sorry if that is something you don't want to hear. And I do personally believe your family is correct. I do believe there's someone else, and I wonder whether that will surface in any way. But let me tell you now that no man or human who makes you feel like that is worthy of you like pining after them and like being like, I love him so much. that's so disrespectful. Like,
do you know what? Just to quickly, like, on that point, let's just say, for argument's sake, there is no one else, okay? Because I don't want you to listen to this and be like talking back and be like, but I know there's not. Let's say there's no one else. How he has spoken to you and how he has just thrown that on you and then just left and not come back is so unacceptable. Like, it's so disgusting and disrespectful. Like, he's gone and said that you made him propose. I'm sorry, did you buy the ring and make him get down on one knee?
Even if, like, he did feel the pressure to do that, why not sit and communicate and be like, look, I did feel a bit of pressure to propose. I'm maybe not ready. Could we maybe have a longer engagement?
Or even that. Like, honestly, it's the making her, putting her down about her appearance. Do you know what you need to do, babe? You seriously need to do the work on yourself and show him that he... I
lost the grip.
Yeah, like what a fucking pig. Like, to even speak to a woman that you don't even know that way, let alone your fiance who you have children with. And girls, you have girls though. Didn't she say she's got 3 children? Girls.
Can't remember if this was the girls or if it was the...
No. Hold on, raising 3 kids. If one of those kids are girls, I mean...
Yeah, how would I like his daughter to be spoken?
It baffles me when men who have daughters treat the mother of their... And I'm not saying that it's okay for them to treat them badly if they've only got a son.
Bye.
Yeah. But it just... I don't know. It's like... I do sometimes think, like, how would you feel if a guy did that to your daughter? Would you be bothered? Would it... Would you be like, oh, shit, I did that to your mum? I don't know. Just... It baffles me. It really, really does. But, like, it makes me so sad that you're feeling so crappy about yourself. Like, you're in the depth of it right now. I get the impression that this is quite raw and it's happened quite soon. So you're going to be feeling all those feels and go with it. It sounds like you've got some amazing friends as well. So surround yourself with them and please eventually, like, pick yourself up. And if you're not feeling good about yourself, go and do something about it. You know, go on walks. You don't need to find the time to go to the gym. Like, I think it was like what we were speaking about earlier in this conversation, like setting those like realistic goals of what you're going to do in your day, like going to the gym and doing the 10,000 steps. Like, if you can't do stuff like that and it's something that you want to do because you're saying you feel like you don't look your best or you have gained some weight, try and make healthier choices, try and do some walks. Get the kids out and go on walks at the park or whatever. But, like, he doesn't deserve you. And I really hope that you do end up hearing this and realise that you deserve so much more than that.
Online dating help, please. Like, I'm here for the dating.
Yeah.
Hello, girls. I followed you both for years and went through the same situation at the same time as you guys. So seeing your struggles, joys and everything in between has helped me on my own journey. My backstory. My daughter's dad randomly told me that he was moving out after a few months of ups and downs. 6 months into mortgage on our first bought home, 6 months after getting our dog, the month before our daughter's 3rd birthday. I was actually okay with this, as I think I always knew deep down he wasn't my person. For the first year, we co-parented well. Some said too well, and that we hadn't really separated our lives. His mental health dipped and I encouraged him to go back to his family 2 hours away to live short term to get himself back on his feet. What a mistake that was, and more for me for helping him out. Straight away, he goes into a new relationship with a crazy psycho bitch. His words 6 years ago, when she told me that he loved her too and kept promising to leave me for her.
Oh,
Lol. And guess what? He worked with her at the time.
Another one.
I should have trusted my gut then and left him, but I didn't. We moved forward, moved in together, had a baby, moved 2 hours away to be near my family, got engaged, bought a house and lived life. But as soon as he was single and back near her, he got into a relationship with her. 2 years down the line, they're now planning a wedding and my daughter has a relationship with her. I'm not going to lie, it's been very hard, but I've done so much self-healing and moving forward. And I know now that I am the lucky one. I got out from his bullshit. I have the house, I have my amazing daughter, the dog, and I am mostly happy. All the while they are living back near us to see my daughter in an awful rented house away from their family and friends, which I'm reminded of all the time. He hasn't worked on his mental health and it's still bad, no real prospects for the future, yet I still sometimes feel like I'm the one missing out. It's not about him at all. I'm totally over him and I'm proud of how far I've come in the last 3 years. But I have only ever been on one date since, which was a blind date that we didn't even share numbers. I've been on the apps for ages, but this is where I need your help. I go on, start a conversation, it goes nowhere. I've got to the point of texting 2 guys, arranging dates, then they cancel on me on the day. Please give me some advice on how to get to the point of actually going on a date. I would say I've grown in confidence in regards to not taking the bullshit from my ex. I know I'm a great mum, but how do I find the confidence to sell myself? Not actually, just to be clear. To get to the point of dating, I keep thinking, how am I still no further forward and he is bloody getting married? I really feel this is what is the missing piece in the puzzle of life. I want to have fun. I want to see what else there is to offer. I go on holidays with my daughter. I'm not scared of the world, but I'm scared of the online dating world. Any advice would be amazing. Love you guys. Thank you.
Can I quickly point out one thing while I remember, because it's something that you said. And you said, like, why are you so single and he's planning a wedding? He didn't do the work and he's gone to someone that he called a psycho.
Leaving the problem from my place.
So can we quickly just point out, like, I know it's very easy at times to be like, how have they moved on? How are they, like, having it all and I'm not? He's probably not. They're probably not happy. He's probably going to put all his shit on her. You said that he's got, like, no prospects. He hasn't worked on his mental health. So remind yourself of the fact that, like, you don't want him. So her standards are obviously lower, or she's happy with what he's willing to offer and you're not, whereas your standards are higher. So I always want to make it, you know, I've actually got a friend of mine who isn't with her fiance anymore. He's an absolute prick and he's with someone else and she's single. And it is very easy to sometimes, like, reflect and be like, how is he, like, with someone else and I'm not? That, and
it's not engaged. It's not a race to happiness, is it?
I felt that way at one point. I did. My ex got into another relationship and it broke me for 48 hours.
Yeah. So got that, yeah.
And you do have those thoughts of, like, you always end up attacking yourself first and being like, why can't I have that? Why am I not enough? Like, what's he got and what's she got?
How is he able to move forward so quickly?
And
yeah,
it isn't about that. And I think we really need to try and, like, separate the two things and realise that, like, you've done the work, you've healed the right way, you're putting your time and energy into yourself and your daughter, and now you're ready, and that's great. But you have a particular standard that you won't go under, and just hold that. And it's got no bearing on the other person being with someone, because you don't know what happens behind closed doors. You know that person, what they were like when you were with them.
I don't want that. Exactly, I agree. That's what I felt.
In regards to dating, I think the apps, unfortunately, can be quite brutal. I do think it's a bit of a numbers game. I think you need to make sure when you're on there that you always are in a good headspace and you're not like, oh, going to go on there again, spend my evening scrolling, and, like, everyone's, like, gross. And I feel like sometimes you do maybe need to take a step back or, like, a little break and be like, I think try and make it an enjoyable task rather than a chore.
Yeah, and I also wonder, like you, it sounds really harsh, but, like, you don't want to, like, fade into the background of just being like everyone else. Like, have some fun prompts on there, have some fun photos. We've spoken before about, like, doing fun activities, like go out with your friends and be like, can you take some pictures of me for my dating profile? Like, get out of your comfort zone, like, get glammed up, go out, get someone to take a picture of you looking amazing, like, build that confidence up in yourself and project that fun through some of the questions. Like, don't pick the serious, boring questions. Pick the ones that are gonna
Sunday, like going for everyone.
I say this, my profile is probably quite boring. I don't really remember.
No, but you know what? And I've said this before, like, anyone that's struggling on the dating apps, not claiming that I'm an expert. Carly's not claiming she's an expert, but it would actually be really interesting for you to send us some screenshots.
Yeah, we'll help you.
Your profile, and maybe we should say what we would change.
I'll help you.
So if you're listening to this, do that if you want. Show, or even at least let us know what apps you're on. So I feel like apps work differently for different people. I know that obviously Carly's had success on Bumble, whereas I've had success on Hinge. So works for different people. But I would love for anyone, if they're on the dating app and they're not feeling like they're getting anywhere, we'd like some screenshots of your profiles, and we're more than happy to give some constructive criticism or any guidance, I think that we should maybe even put a box on our stories and get people to send that in.
We'll do that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Should we do a confession of the week? Okay, confession of the week. This is quite funny because I sort of did this too. Me and my partner went away and I just had a real feeling that he was going to propose. So once he unpacked and he was in the other room, I literally looked through everything. His boxes, his pillowcase, all his clothes, and I ended up finding the ring. He proposed and it was really magical, but I still to this day have not told him that I actually knew that it was coming because I knew that he'd be angry with me that I ended up looking for it before he actually did it.
I've to this day, my ex probably doesn't know I knew he was proposing.
Really?
Yeah.
So I did that. I searched, but I never found it. But he did end up proposing on that holiday. But he obviously knew me well enough to know I need to hide it somewhere where she cannot either reach or... So, you knew.
I found the ring.
Did you? Hilarious. Yeah, seems like it's quite
played it down. Yeah. I'd be shocked if I ever got proposed to again and it was managed to be a secret. I would be shocked.
My proposal was such a red flag. I should have known there and then.
My best friend organised my proposal. Tell me that's a red flag.
No, but I don't think that's a red flag because at least he knew that he needed some guidance. Mine was so shit he needed the fucking guidance. That's what I mean. It was diabolical and it deserved a no. Anyway.
But you didn't give him a no.
No, I did not. I didn't.
Oh. That's what I like.
Affirmation of the week. I'm worthy of receiving real, honest, amazing love, and I will go and fucking get it. A to the men. Thank you for listening. Bye.